87%. Yeah, that's the percentage of all real estate agents that get in the business today that'll be gone in 2 years. Let me tell you something. Why is there so much turnover in real estate? Because it isn't easy. And because most people don't know exactly what they need to do to get to the next level. Now look, regardless of whether you're brand new to the industry or you're a team leader, you've got 40 people on your team and you just want to get to the next level. If you're doing 10 transactions a year, you want to get to 25. You're doing 500 transactions a year, you want to get to 1,000. You're at 1,000, you want to get to 10,000. Let me tell you something. You need the right coach. Why? Because Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. This is for people of all levels. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you, that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did. Holy Hannah, here we are. We are on Club Wealth TV once again. And as you guys know, we're talking about all kinds of things, not just the real estate business, but now we're talking about all 5 key areas of life. You got your family, business, financial, health, both physical and mental, and your spiritual life. And today's episode is with Coach Erick Harbert. And Coach Erick is having a ton of success with recruiting, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, before we do, I want to share with you that he is in Houston, Texas. He is a baller. And let me just tell you that Erick is a guy. First of all, if you have a referral in Houston, Texas, you need to reach out to Erick. He'll take great care of him. I know he's done a ton of referrals with people from Club Wealth, and all I've ever heard is good things about him. But today I want Erick, if you could do me a favor, just tell us a little bit about you, but I really want to hear your Club Wealth story. Like, how long have you been with Club Wealth? You've been a client, now you're also a coach, and then we'll dive into recruiting after that.
Yeah, Michael. So LABC 2 years ago, I actually signed up like a week beforehand. I was interviewing coaches and every one of the coaches was like, you need to come to LABC. So I literally signed up for coaching, went to LABC, ended up just loving it. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I've now been with Club Wealth for 2 years and a couple months. I've been a Club Wealth coach for about a year and a half. So
that's awesome. And what's that done? What's Club Wealth done for your business, for your life, for your production, all that kind of stuff, your team, all of it?
Yeah, it's made it a lot better. So I came out of 2019. I was doing a lot of investment, kind of moved over to realtor full time. And right then I actually had a coach before this, and his entire philosophy was do open house. So 2020 came around and it was COVID. And so his only answer to the problem, his only answer to the problem was do open houses anyways. I was like, okay, well, I don't have any listings. People are not letting me do open houses. So I started shopping for the right coaching company. It took me a little while. I was still in production. I was producing. I did about 24 deals that year, 2020. I got found Club Wealth and really never looked back from there. I've been consistently doubling my deal flow year after year. So 21, I did about the 25 deal range. Last year, 21, I scaled up. I did, 35 or so deals. Last year, I signed 65 listing agreements and we closed a little over 40 of those. Came into this year pretty strong. I was able to tier up. I'm now tier 3. So we're on track to do in about the 90 to 100 plus transactions. But with that in mind, major focus on building and growing the team. So when I started with Club Wealth back in 21, it was me, solo agent, no clue in the world. I mean, I had a couple clues. I've been doing a lot of deals, but didn't have a transaction manager, didn't have lead manager, didn't have admin. All of that was, non-existent, let alone other agents. So since then, I've grown. I have now about 14 agents on the team. I have a transaction manager, a full-time admin, and then we have a couple different ISA teams. Madison Hellickson has some amazing ISAs, setting some appointments for us as well. So the team has grown exponentially, and we want to continue to grow that bigger and bigger.
Dude, that's fantastic. By the way, speaking of Madison's ISAs making calls for you, have you switched yet to, instead of having them set appointments, to doing warm transfers to your agents right away?
We're trying to get that set up now. We sent over the live number and we haven't received one yet, but we are waiting for those to come through.
That's a big deal. Doing that really, we found is a lot more successful because we want to get people live on the phone with a real estate agent as quickly as possible. So I love that. And boy, I love your growth, man. That's fantastic. Seriously. And I'm assuming that most of those 14 agents on your team have joined your team in the last 6 months. Is that right?
A lot of them have. Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously, we haven't
even had a chance.
Consistently, but
Say that again.
we have consistent turnover, so we're obviously growing, retracting, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the case with every team, though. I mean, you're always going to have attrition, but the key is making sure that you're always top grading, right? You're always bringing more people in, keeping the best ones, letting the rest of them go. That being said, I bring this up because you haven't even hit your stride yet with the production of most of those agents. If they've been with you for less than 6 months, they haven't even been able to start beginning to build, grow, and nurture their pipeline. And so their transaction count isn't even going up yet. You're going to have an amazing 24. That's what I'm really excited about. I mean, you're on track now. You keep things going the way you are and you keep recruiting the way you have been, your 24 is going to be amazing. And so let's talk about that for a second. So you've had some really good success very recently with, I know you were in the recruiting contest that we just had, and you were in the top 3 in the recruiting contest, in fact. I can't remember. Did you win that, or was that you or Nicole that won that?
Second, Nicole beat me.
Nicole barely beat you. Okay, all right. She's pretty competitive.
Yeah, it's just me. I'm doing the recruiting. She has a full-time recruiter, so.
Yep. Well, and not only are you doing the recruiting, but you're also in production, which is 10 times harder. That's a lot more difficult than, hey, I've got a full-time recruiter. So kudos to you. I want to hear about that. So as an agent who's in production at a very high level, how are you managing your time first and foremost to be able to work that recruiting in? How are you making sure you're doing it? And what exactly are you doing for recruiting?
Gosh, so let's break that down a little bit. First, obviously your perfect daily schedule, right? You got to put time on your calendar to do those actions, because if you don't have the time for it, it's not going to happen. Yep. So I put recruiting time in my calendar.
How much?
Usually about an hour a day.
Perfect. And how much prospecting time are you doing with your consumers?
3 to 4 hours, depending on how quick my first appointment is in the afternoon.
So you're a total of 4 to 5 hours of making phone calls every day. Perfect. Love it. Keep going.
Now, a lot of my recent prospecting for agents is direct text message, and it actually allows them to schedule times within my recruiting call block for them to have an interview with me. So literally they just go in, they pop in, and then I get in my calendar and I say, okay, I got 2 or 3 phone calls today with agents to talk to them and continue to work with them directly. Okay,
well, you don't get to drop that nugget and not share with us what the text message is. So what's the text message? What are you sending them?
So it's a variety. So one thing I did is I started with the Eagle Squad, and I got them to load the campaigns for me. So I got those built directly into my CRM. I just actually built a separate seat in my CRM just for recruitment.
Yep.
And I put those campaigns in there and running just recruitment in that one portion.
So hold on, which campaign are you using? Are you using the Club Wealth campaign for the recruiting, or do you have a
started that as my structure, and then I've built it my own wording?
Yes. Okay. So you took that and as initial. So you had the AIM team, the Club Wealth Automation Integration and Migration team, went in and built that. I didn't know this, by the way, ahead of time. I'm just finding this out. But you had the AIM team go in and they took the Club Wealth campaigns. They built them into your stuff because you're an Eagle Squadron coaching client, so you get an hour of AIM team time for free every month. So they put them in there, and then you went in and you tweaked the campaign, made it yours, adjusted some language, just made it feel like you. I love this. This is great.
Yeah, between the AIM team and ChatGPT, it's really easy to write campaigns.
Yep.
If you do it yourself, I suck at it. But I can take something that's existing and make it my own very quickly. So I took something existing, I changed it. A couple of things that I added, and this one we actually discussed on the recruiting mastermind 2 or 3 months ago, was the 100K guarantee. Mm-hmm. So I built out a 100K guarantee. I started sending those text messages out, so people were interested in what that looked like, what they could do to get a 100K guarantee, what it would be like to join a team with that. And so I would do some teaser messages with that. And then another big proponent that we've been doing is a consistent weekly training. So every Tuesday at 2:00, so Tuesday at 2's trainings, we have it open to any agent in the market. And we invite them to it. And we continue to add and grow with that. So not only are you getting messages saying, hey, join the team, or you're interested in having a 100K guarantee, but we're also giving back by offering, educational pieces to where they can come and meet us. And that's been a big benefit, just to get people out of the woodwork and just come interact.
Dude, I freaking love it. I'd love to see your cadence for that. Do you have any kind of a checklist or a calendar that you follow or anything like that?
So right now I'm doing, as far as how many times we're hitting the campaigns. Yeah, so it's 3 text messages per week and 2 emails, and it kind of coordinates back and forth, but they're generally at different times just because different people hit different ways. And then one thing that I saw that got a large increase of opens is, instead of sending the emails through our CRM, I switched over to Eventbrite, and using Eventbrite to send out the emails to invite people to the trainings, increased the open rate dramatically.
Dude, I literally just had that exact same conversation with Jason O'Keefe literally 30 minutes ago. And that is a hack that I don't think most people have figured out yet. And I appreciate that our audience knows about it now. And I'd also appreciate it if you guys would keep your mouth shut about it and don't tell the rest of the world, because it works really well. But it really does work. And so you just upload your list into Eventbrite, and for your educational events or your career nights. Are you doing career nights also?
Not yet, but coming soon.
Oh, they are. Okay, good. Jason was having really good success with that. So, but you upload that into Eventbrite, and Eventbrite's delivery rates are fantastic. They're actually phenomenal. And so let me ask you this. And now I do need to say this. Be careful with cold text messages, everybody. We've got to be careful with text messaging cold list, because you can get in a lot of trouble for that, and you can get fined for that and all kinds of stuff. That being said, Erick, you are, first of all, you're cold texting how many people?
So I do the newer licensed for that batch, and that's about 12 to 13,000 agents.
Wow. So are you cold texting 12 to 13,000 all at the same time?
So it does. It goes through a drip campaign in our CRM, and it consistently hits them, yes.
Which CRM are you using?
KV Core.
KV Core. Okay, good.
Let me say that with a grain of salt. I actually have 2 CRMs. I'm using KV Core and Chime as we process this. That's a long story. We won't get.
That sounds like a lot like a steel wool enema to me. Yeah, no fun. So now, that being said, you and I have talked about Black Hat at Chime, and I'm making progress on that. I have a call today at 3:00. I've got a call with our representative from Chime to get that finalized, and hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully I'll be able to have finalization on the Black Hat process there and be able to include you in that. That being said, you literally just cold blasted through KV Core 12,000 agents with a text message. I'm shocked KV Core didn't give you a hard time about that. Good for you. And you didn't have any issues you didn't get fined or anything like that?
No.
Okay, what was your response rate? How many people responded?
So on average, I was getting somewhere between 2 to 3 appointments per day of people scheduling their own appointments. And so that was my biggest metric. And so over the last month, I've probably scheduled somewhere between 15 to 30 direct appointments with agents.
Okay, and how many of those appointments showed up?
All of them.
Okay, and how many of those did you recruit?
I had 5 people sign the paperwork.
Dude, listen, and what did that cost you to do that?
On time.
Where'd you get the list?
So Texas, we have the benefit. It's open. It is public access.
Oh my God.
I literally just go into our state website, download it, sort by area and by time.
Did you catch that, Kevin? I'm looking at Kevin right now. Bro, you got to get that list, man. Make that happen. Get it to our guys. That's freaking amazing, man. So it cost you nothing. You sent out all these text messages and you ended up with 5 recruits. Okay, what was your pitch essentially? It was, you did the 100,000 guarantee, right? I guarantee you'll make 100,000 your first year with us, or I make up the difference in cash. What was the rest of your pitch?
That's it. Have you thought about joining a team? Are you currently producing?
Okay.
Want more information? Join here and talk to Eric.
And will you meet with them, and tell me about the meeting. Are you meeting with them over the phone first, in person?
It is a phone conversation. And most of the time, I would say out of those 5, 3 of them signed over the phone. They were ready to go.
On the first call?
On the first call. Sent the paperwork, sent it, the brokerage switch over. And then the other 2, either I bring them into the Tuesday trainings or I meet with them in person, depending on where they are on the fence. And then the rest of them are continued follow-up, depending on where they are. So I'll probably get more out of that, just depending on where they are in the cycle.
Okay, what are you saying to them? What's the last thing you say to them to get them to sign a contract over the phone?
I mean, the same thing with a listing agreement, right? Anything else that you do before you fill out the contract? Any other questions before you fill out the contract?
I freaking love you.
Right, it's just straightforward. Hit it.
Dude, I love it. And you know, honestly, that's one of the things I really love about that script. You know, when you say to somebody, are there any other questions before we get started on the paperwork? It's very straightforward. There's no hidden agenda. Everybody knows what you're doing, and they're either ready or they're not. And so I love it. You're keeping it super simple, which is always a good plan. I looking over at Kevin over here again, because how many times have I told you that, Kevin? Keep it super simple, man. I love what you're doing, Eric. That's fantastic. Okay, so what advice would you give to our agents that are, our team leaders out there that let's say I've got somebody who's doing 25 to 150 transactions a year. They're in production, but they're still trying to grow a team. What's your advice to them?
So a couple pieces. One, every agent you touch is an agent that can be on your team. If you do a transaction, offer it. I'm literally working with an agent right now that's considering joining the team, but he runs a brokerage and he has 20 agents under him, but he's not performing. I'm like, hey man, you're doing all of this work. You don't have support. You don't have a CRM and you have a brokerage. Come on. Like, I'll give you 100K guarantee. He's like, I'm a broker, but you can give me a 100K guarantee. I'm like, sure. Join the team. So, and that he's a buyer agent on one of my listings.
Dude.
Number 2 is like when they see that, right? Like if you're working with buyer agents and they say, oh, you have 18 active listings right now. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, come on, join the team. Right. So day in and day out.
Now, hold on. Before we move on to the next piece of advice. So first of all, and everybody knows we're brand agnostic at Club Wealth. We've got people from every different brokerage. I think Jason, I just interviewed him. He's with Real. I think Nicole's with EXP. Who are you with?
So I'm a boutique brokerage. It's called Realty Right. There's only about 60 or 70 agents in the...
Dude, what I love is the top 3 people in the contest were all from different brokerages, complete different models. And so here's what I would suggest. This guy that you're about to bring over that's got the 20 agents under him, what are you going to do to get those agents or get some of those agents to come with him? Have you addressed that yet? Are you having that conversation yet?
So he has the same problem as most of us do, is only 2 or 3 of them produce. And then the rest of them don't have any support, accountability, leads, right? So we're going to make it open to all of them and show them what they can get out of joining a team, and then teach them the difference in their income being a solo brokerage versus team, and invite them on board.
Love it. Love it. Dude, and now what about for him? Are you compensating him in any way for helping to bring those folks over?
So I do a referral agreement. And when you refer an agent to my team, I pay out a $5,000 bonus. And that's like a half of an average commission in my market. And then I pay that out per closing for the first 10 closings. So it's literally a $500 referral fee per closing for the first 10 closings. So it keeps them engaged. It helps them bring more people in. And then for him, that will help that out. Now, for somebody that's already a broker, really where I would want to position him is to learn and train to be a squad leader or even a team leader in the future.
Yep.
But to get there, to be a squad leader on our team, you have to be on the team for at least 6 months. So he can't come in as a squad leader. So
Right.
he has to come and perform.
Yep.
And then those agents can go back under him and
Yep.
he can get, small commissions off of their production as well.
Love it. Dude, I love it. That's fantastic. Okay, more advice for agents thinking about recruiting. What do you got?
Man, one of the things that I found helps the most, and this is just from trial and error, when you get on that phone call with the agent, don't tell them about your team. Ask them about them. Ask them about their problems, what's working, what's not working. And the second you do that, you're going to be able to very quickly uncover what their needs are and then help them through that, give them even small advice over the phone. And then when they realize that you literally have the answer to 90% of their problems, they're like, let's go.
Yep.
It makes a big difference by making it about them instead of about you or your team.
I freaking love that you said that, because really, I think people get too hung up on, oh, I've got to have the perfect value proposition or whatever. No, your value proposition is bring value, right? It's, find out what they need and find out what their problems are and solve them and show them that you're willing to do whatever it takes to solve those problems. And the rest of your value proposition doesn't matter to them. It's not interesting to them. What's interesting to them is what they actually need. You don't know that if you don't ask. So, no, that's fantastic. Good stuff.
A lot of agents are going to say something like, I need leads. You don't actually need leads. You need to be able to use your phone. But of course we have leads. We have great paid leads. We have lead sources. We have lots of lead sources. I need support and training. Awesome. I'm a coach with Club Wealth. You're going to get amazing support. You're going to get training. We have a transaction coordinator. Don't know how to do your contracts or need support? The transaction's handled for you. So every need has a pretty easy option. We got to figure it out.
I love it. That's perfect. Okay, so that said, what's next for you? What's the next thing you're going to implement?
Man, so big goals. Number one, I want to get to 20 performing agents by the end of the year. It's a pretty lofty goal because performing agents are hard. You're going to have to hire 60 to 80 regular agents to find those 20 performers.
Yep.
So I have to keep going. I'm just going to keep recruiting. Number two, I found our local real estate. We have an actual in-house teachable class. It's at Champion Real Estate. If you take real estate courses there, you can also then buy lunches for the new class. So I am signing up to get courses from this, even though I have my own CE shop and everything else. I'm going to go buy some courses, get enrolled so that I can offer lunches to these folks.
And that's with what company?
So it's the Champions Real Estate Group is what's around here.
But that's huge because now you can go in. I didn't know if they were national or not. But what's nice is then you can go in and you can go to their actual classes. Do you get to say a few things? Is that what they let you do?
They give you a 20-minute spot if you buy lunch.
A full 20-minute spot, and all you got to do is buy lunch. Sign me up, dude. And when you walk in there and you say, hey guys, and by the way, I wouldn't just bring them lunch. I'd cater in the nicest lunch they're ever going to have. And then I'd walk in there and I'd say, here's the deal. You guys want more of the good life? I'll tell you what, I'm the only guy that's going to come in here and literally guarantee that you're going to make $100,000 your first year, or I'll make up the difference. Yeah. And, what are they going to say now? Where do I sign? So, yeah, good for you.
Next, another big thing. So we have a lot of small things, but continuing with the trainings, inviting people out, doing the lunch and learns are going to be huge for us, in my opinion. My brokers, so I'm actually working with my broker directly. We're hiring a recruiter. So actually works for my broker. He's super happy because he's a flat fee broker. He just wants volume. So if he gets people on my team, he knows that they do more volume. So it actually incentivizes my broker to help people get into our team. So she's joining this week, and then I get to train her and show her like what the difference between a team and being a solo is on a brokerage. And then she's going to go out and find people. So like little incremental things, just keep adding them in, hopefully get a lot more.
So I think you've nailed it there too, because it's not about, let me do it all at once. Let me be perfect at all of it. It's like, no, we're going to build this airplane as we're flying down the runway, right? Like we're going to figure it out as we go. We're going to get as much as we can out there right now. We're going to make sure we're doing the very best job we can. But I say this all the time. People need to understand, too often people think they have to choose quality over quantity, and the actual opposite is true. You need to choose quantity over quality, because here's the reality. Until you've done the quantity, you'll never get to quality. You have to do quantity first to be able to achieve quality, so that you can refine your systems and your processes over a long period of time, and that's how you get great. It doesn't happen overnight. So, yeah, that's great stuff. Erick, any parting thoughts you'd like to share with us before we wrap up today?
Nothing that I have. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, I really appreciate you being here. Coach Erick Harbert, everybody. And if you haven't already, look him up. He's on all the social media channels, or you can scan that really cool image on his screen there. But also, Coach Erick, if you're open to it, I'd love to see your messaging. If you'd be willing to share that messaging you're sending out with everybody, then what we'll do is, if you guys go to clubwealth.com/Erick H, clubwealth.com/Erick H, we will put all of the stuff that we talked about today. We'll put that in, he's going to send that to me. We're going to put it on the website. All you got to do is throw your email address and phone number in there, and you can download it for free right from the website. Erick's contact information will be right on it. So if you just want to do a call with him just to pick his brain a little bit about recruiting, then definitely do that. And if what you really want to do is send him a referral, I bet you he'd remember it if you did that. Or even if you just tag him in a referral post for something in Houston, I know he'll remember you and want to return the favor. So Erick, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing.
I look forward to meeting like all of you in person, because BSM is in my backyard this time. It's going to be in the Woodland, which is just north of the Houston. So y'all are coming to my neck of woods.
Dude, I forgot about that. That's right. It is in your neighborhood. That's right. So guys, if you haven't already signed up for it, go to clubwealth.com/BSM. That's clubwealth.com/BSM. Get your ticket to Business Strategy Mastermind Conference. Erick, just real quick, let's just do this since you brought it up. Tell us why you keep coming. I know this one's in your backyard, but you'd go wherever it was. So tell me, why do you keep going to the Club Wealth events?
So I haven't missed one yet. And like I said in the beginning, like the day I signed up for coaching, I then turned around and bought my tickets to LABC. Number one, you gain so much knowledge. There are so many top producers. You can really find anything that you need in your business in that group. The second thing is the networking and the after hours. There's not many places that you can go and sit around a table with $1 million producers and large teams, and they're willing to talk to you one-on-one like a normal person. You don't have to pay, $10,000 for a strategy call or whatever with it. You can just go talk to Lee Garland or Liz McDonald or Austin, anybody, and they're just going to share their business with you.
Yep.
That alone pays for the event. It literally changes my business every 6 months dramatically.
I love it. And I love, where you were going with that, with the whole, they're so humble, and that's hard to do when you've got people producing at that level. To get that many people producing at that level and have them be the kind of people that are humble, that are willing to share with you, and that don't look down on you, that just, they just understand we're just all just another squirrel trying to get a nut. And they're literally, they'll open up their playbook. Kyle Robinson, Lee Garland, Liz McDonald, Virginia Corbett, you name it, Nicole Gaudet. Erick Harbert. They'll literally just open up their playbook and say, well, what do you want? You want me to send you all my checklists? Here you go. I'll send you those. You want me to send you this? Great. Here's that. Whatever. Like, it's just super abundant. And guys, the information that you learn at these events is world class. The people that you meet will be lifelong relationships for you. They will become your best friends. You'll learn from them for decades to come. And you'll have wonderful relationships. So thank you for that, Coach Erick. And I will see you in the Woodlands, Texas in October at Business Strategy Mastermind Conference. And I'm looking forward to your class there too, by the way. So, and if you would please get that sent over to Tara right away. I know they're looking forward to figuring out what your topic's going to be, because next week is my planning week, where Ron and I go to Leavenworth and we'll spend a week planning the event and making sure it's world class for everybody. So that being said, everybody, Coach Erick Harbert once again. Grateful for you, Coach Erick. Grateful for everybody watching. And you guys, do us a favor. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe. But whatever you do, participate in these broadcasts. And definitely whatever medium you're watching this on, comment below. Ask your questions of Erick and myself. We'll make sure that we share our answers in the comments and keep the conversation going. Have a great day, everybody. 87%. Yeah, that's the percentage of all real estate agents that get in the business today that'll be gone in 2 years. Let me tell you something. Why is there so much turnover in real estate? Because it isn't easy. And because most people don't know exactly what they need to do to get to the next level. Now look, regardless of whether you're brand new to the industry or you're a team leader, you've got 40 people on your team and you just want to get to the next level. If you're doing 10 transactions a year, you want to get to 25. You're doing 500 transactions a year, you want to get to 1,000. You're at 1,000, you want to get to 10,000. Let me tell you something. You need the right coach. Why? Because Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. This is for people of all levels. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you, that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.